Hi, my name is Geeta and I'm the CEO and founder of Nosh Detox Delivery Limited based in London. And we're going to talk about making one small change. Now, change feels like you need to do something physical, but in fact, I've noticed in the work that I've done with tens and thousands of women is that change can actually be an understanding. In fact, the deepest change comes from an understanding. When people come in the door and they want to make a change, I always have to gently lead them towards a space where if you understand something by unpacking an idea, you can never go back to the person you were before you understood that. You never want to go back to that person because you are so different, because you've understood something different. And today I want to talk about a phenomenon that I call alpha women, which is women like me, like you, like so many of us in the world, because we've changed. The way women live today has changed so much. The way women have to show up in the world has changed so much. You know, we're just in different places. I wasn't brought up to be the breadwinner in my family and bring up children on my own. I wasn't brought up to do that. I was brought up in a really traditional family infrastructure and, you know, kind of 2.1 thing, and you think this is what's going to happen to you too. And it couldn't be further from the truth. But what's interesting is I'm not alone. My clients that walk in, honestly, so many of them, I feel like saying 50%, and I'm sure it's more, of my clients show up, and they are the people that are responsible for their whole lives. They are the breadwinners, they are the people looking after the children, they're looking after their elderly parents, and we're just bloody being everything to everyone. And it's a nightmare because it's exhausting. And when you've done all this alphaing, and you're off and you've sort of, and you know, I did not sign up to be Superwoman. I have to tell you, this was really not my bloody goal in life. My goal in life was to work out how to have a super easy life and have a really great time. It turned out it didn't quite work like that. It's a lot more fun, but Superwoman, shoot me. Never been interested. Which is why I sort of use the alpha woman thing, because I feel like that's something you get labeled with, not so much that you've tried to achieve. And the interesting thing about being an alpha woman is that you've still somehow got to show up in your relationship with whoever the person you're with and stop being this alpha woman. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, here I am all day, I take charge of everything, I control everything, I make it all happen, and I'm like, do this, can we do this, got it, got it, got it, got it. And then I step over into the door of my home and I'm like, hi. I don't think so. That's really not happening. But it needs to happen because you need to transition into a different role in order to have a successful relationship. And I'm not necessarily talking about women with women relationships here. I'm actually talking about male-female relations. I do not know a single man that we're going to come home and tell him what to do and that relationship is going to go well. It just isn't. It's just not the way men are built. So I had a client come in very recently and she has just been offered an enormously high-paying job. So she needs to actually move country with this job. And her boyfriend lives in Europe and he's supposed to come over with her to England to join her, and now she's moving somewhere else. But how do you turn down this incredible job, which is what she wants to do, which is actually earning 5 times more than he is? And what her goal is to say, look, can I have this job for 3 years? Let's work it together as a team. And then at the end of 3 years, we can buy the house and you go on and make all the money and I will be sitting there looking after our children, because that's what I would love to do. But right now, we really need this because we can't afford to buy a house if we don't do this. I mean, that's a very, very basic problem. And what do you do with that? And she was like, so I've told him to do this and I've told him to do this. And I was like, how's he taking that? And she went, really not very well. So we did an exercise I'd really like you to do. I got a piece of paper and I wrote down 3 different roles, areas. I mean, you know, if you've watched any of these videos, you know I'm into roles, but actually it's about who you show up as is what I mean. And on one side I wrote alpha female. On the other one I wrote woman, because actually we are women. And then on the other side I wrote girl, because that's also part of who I am. Now, which one of these shows up at work? Clearly alpha female. And which one of these shows up, you know, when you're like blow drying your hair in your knickers? Woman. But when you now go back to a man or a partner and you're girly, which one shows up? More the girl. Am I saying you should be subservient? Hell no. Am I saying that there are just places where you have to let people be who they are? Hell yes. But you know what? We've forgotten how to do those things. If I'm out there and taking over the world, because that's my job, how do I then come home and actually act like a girl? It's really, really, really difficult. It was very difficult for her to do it. What I want you to do is to write down those 3 roles, and I want you to write down the activities and the emotions you feel in each one of those people. So when I'm in Alpha Woman, my activities are leadership, organization, focus. My emotions are get it done, get it done, get it done. That's my goal. When I'm being a woman, I'm kind of a bit more flowy. I'm kind of like, oh gosh, what's my hair doing? What am I doing? I'm with my girlfriends. And it's a bit more how I feel. What am I thinking? My activities are kind of under the heading of woman. I'm going out with my girlfriends. I am, literally, as I keep thinking, I'm blow drying my hair. I'm kind of being me, because that's who I am. Now, when I'm being a girl, that's when I'm showing up with my partner, because I like that. I like that feeling that I don't have to take charge of this, that I'm not in charge of my relationship with him, that I don't want to be the person that is always running everything. And he wants to be the person that's running this, because it's such a male inbuilt thing to protect, to look after. I don't want to take that away from him. I love that. I have a girlfriend who is the funniest person ever. She's literally 20 years older than her husband, and he still calls her his little girl. I sort of look at that and I'm just like, wow, I don't even know how you got there, but I can totally understand the concept of showing up that way. If you don't like that wording, pick another word, but understand the sentiment. So the exercise to recap, write down the 3 roles, write down what you would do, who you would be in each of those roles, for you, and then write down how you feel in those roles. And it's very interesting, because what it does is it teaches you that there are parts of you that don't necessarily show up. As a single parent for decades, honestly, the woman never showed up. She just wasn't there. I didn't have time for her. And you will find there is one part of you that's not really showing up as much because you don't have time. But to be balanced and happier, you want to find her. So at least you know she's there. If you found this interesting, come and look us up. We're at noshdetox.com, and my name's Geeta. Thank you so much for watching.